What happens when we die? Is there an afterlife? Do we go to heaven? Or even worse, hell? Can we communicate with the dead? And if we can, should we? Let's find out.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 18 of Pedro Paranormal. I'm here with my co-host, as always, Carlos, aka the technician, and I'm your host, Tony, aka the communicator. So today's episode, we're going to be actually discussing something that we discussed in a previous episode. I think the previous episode you didn't do it with me, right, Carlos? I think I did that with Paranormal East LA.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
So today, you know, me and Carlos had been wanting to do an episode on aliens, but not so much of like the previous episode where it was more about like our aliens, demons, or anything like that. It's more about it. You know what? I think this is more of a continuation to last week's episode, right?
Right. This is more like we're just segueing from last episode into this episode, and the subject is, of course, alien invasion.
Mm-hmm. Like, what would happen if aliens invaded Earth? You know, would they be here to enslave us or destroy us or be one with us? But yeah, so that's what today's episode is going to be, episode 18. You know, the whole aliens thing. But so why don't we start? I was talking to Carlos right before we started recording how he actually watched a few movies, right? He watched a few alien movies that you know, to kind of get a little bit of an idea or some ideas of you know, that we could relate it to today's episode.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what do you think, Carlos? I mean, you know what? Before we start, how was your week, Carlos? Good.
Wonderful.
Good week. You know,
watched a lot of alien movies.
yeah. And you know what? It was actually we had really nice weather this week. You know, it was
actually quite warm, isn't it?
Yeah, so it was a nice week, and like Carlos said, you know, he had a lot of time to watch alien movies.
Well, I was gonna be like, should I exercise or should I go out and hike or lift weights? Nah, I'm gonna sit down and watch some alien movies.
You know what you should have done? Something that I've done before when I know there's a certain movie that people recommend for me to watch, and I'm like, you know what, I really don't want to watch it. I'd rather, like, you know, get a little bit of workout. I put a treadmill in front of my TV, and so what I do, I'll put the treadmill and just be walking while I'm watching, you know, whatever movie it is.
That's fun. Yeah, you can put your tablet or your phone on there and watch TV that way. That's a good idea.
Yeah, but so what movies did you watch? You know, that have to do with today's episode 18.
Well, actually, I watched 4 movies. I've seen most of these in the past. There's the Invaders from Mars. I believe that's from 1986, I believe, around that era.
Mm-hmm.
The War of the Worlds, the original one from back in the day, 1950s. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and that's the one from the 70s. And I tried watching Mars Attacks again just for comic relief, but it was just bad. And
that movie's terrible. Is that with is Michael J. Fox in that? No,
Michael J. Fox is in that one. Jessica Parker. What's her name again? Parker. I forget her name. Natalie Portman. What's his name again? The guy that played the original Joker. Jack Nicholson.
Oh yes, that's right.
And there's a big cast in there. Jack Black, a bunch of other actors are on there too, and the James Bond guy from back in the day, from GoldenEye, I forget his name.
So I mean,
what's that?
Yeah, I tried watching. I think I went to see that in theaters when it came out with my friend George, and we couldn't sit through it. I think we walked out on it. It was just that bad.
It was bad. Like, the only good thing is Danny Elfman, because he always teamed up with Tim Burton back then. And his movie soundtracks are kick-ass. It's just really good music, but they just couldn't save it.
Yeah.
But I thought to start with that movie. I mean, that's just a better example to start out with. But,
So you know what? Before we talk about the movies, I mean, why don't you tell the the viewers and myself too? What do you think would happen? Like, what are your thoughts of what would happen if aliens actually came to Earth? Like, have you ever thought about it? Just without talking about movies and stuff. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, when I was younger and until recently, but now I started thinking more about this subject. Back then, it was more like whatever you see in movies and in comic books, just this big ship coming in, the mothership, and it's it's full of aliens, and they want to conquer the world because of some certain thing. They want some sort of resource, or they need to pretty much dominate because that's probably part of their nature.
Mm-hmm.
They've probably been to other planets and they want to conquer and conquer and conquer.
Yeah.
If they do come to this planet, what always thought would happen would either come here for some sort of resource, whether it be water, metals for their ships, or maybe even just get people for something, maybe for a resource, slave labor, or maybe food. Who knows what it could be?
It's gonna be like the Twilight Zone. It's a cookbook.
It's a cookbook. Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of Twilight Zone references.
Oh yeah.
That's a great show. So that's how I used to think back, but now I think about it, it's like, well, they don't necessarily have to be like the aliens, like in the traditional sense, especially after watching some of these movies now and in the past, and just thinking about what's going on in the world, especially here on this planet with viruses and all that. So maybe aliens aren't going to be these, lanky, big-headed, big-eyed things driving spaceships. Maybe they could be in coming down in a comet, or a meteorite, and it could be a small little virus from another planet that likes to take over.
Mm-hmm.
So I started thinking that way, in a different, position.
Yeah.
It's like, well, so why? What are these aliens do come in as small little microbes, bacteria, and then as they attach to a human, they evolve to something else. Kind of like the invasion of the body snatchers. When they came down on a rainy day, they were little seedlings, and then they grew into this small little pod with the flower, and they grew bigger and bigger into the size of a papaya. And as soon as someone fell asleep next to one of them, this plant would pretty much just clone you, and then it'll get rid of you. Or you would pass away, actually. And then this new thing that looks exactly like you will show no emotion, but it will take over your role in society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's another thing that you can think about.
Yeah. And you know what? I think we the whole thing of us, I'm getting kind of echo on my speaker. The whole thing of them coming to invade and try to take over the world. I think the reason we think that would happen is because I guess we think. I mean, if we were to invade another planet, that's probably what we would do, and I think that's why we feel that's what they would do to us. But you know what? I've thought about that, and I think if they're able to travel to our planet, from long distance, I think they'd be too smart to think that way. Like, oh, we're here to take over. I think I'm more on the side of, like, I think they would come to almost to like what we do sometimes. When, I don't know if you've ever done this, like not now, but when you were younger, where you would look at like an anthill, and you would just see how they would be carrying their food and just like observing and just like just looking at the colony, just doing their thing. So I think that's what I believe. I think they would come and just observe us.
So you believe planet Earth is a zoo, and we're all in this cage, and the aliens are looking at us and eating popcorn.
Yeah, because I mean, and I'm pretty sure they're sometimes shocked at what they see. Just the way we are when we see animals hunt other animals, and how we kill each other and all that stuff. But I don't know.
You're right. That's a great observation, because as you develop this sort of intelligence to create these amazing ships and this intelligence to go through wormholes and bypass certain planets by bending space itself, you have to think on a higher plane, saying, well, it's not all about invasion. It's about going out and discovering, kind of like what the people in Star Trek do. They go out there and they just discover new worlds and new cultures. And just like Star Trek, you're not supposed to interfere with that culture's that life form's way of life.
Yeah.
You're just there to observe.
Yeah. So I that's what I believe. I think that's what most likely would, in my mind, would happen. Not so much that they would come and try to make us their slaves and all that stuff, but
yeah.
You know what?
Yeah,
I
it's
do.
just a feel.
I mean, I do like in the movie The Matrix. Those are aliens, right? The ones that took over and they have you in these pods and they're just using you as like batteries.
They're robots.
They're robots.
AI and robots that
Oh.
pretty much break away from human.
So The Matrix is more like Terminator.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. You know what? I never knew that. And I've seen The Matrix so many times. I guess because I always forward to the part where he's dodging the bullets.
Yeah, this is really. I'm sorry I don't have it in front of me, but there's this really good series. It's came out before the Matrix sequels came out, and it's an anime, and it talks about how they rose up against how they became aware, and then they try to be equals with the humans, but humans would not accept them.
Is that the Animatrix?
Yes, the Animatrix.
Oh.
That's what it is. You should watch that.
You know what?
It's
I have
pretty
it.
cool.
I have it. I haven't watched it, but I have it.
Okay. Well, this weekend, have a seat and check it out.
I gotta check it out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, Carlitos. I mean, who knows, right? Who knows what would happen? Who knows? But anyways, yeah. You know what? One of my favorite movies, and I've mentioned this before on previous episodes, was the first. I think this was the first alien movie I ever watched in my life, which was E.T. the Extraterrestrial. So that always gave me like a soft spot for aliens. I always think they're gonna come and be like, oh,
Yeah, you're gonna be it's like a power. It is a kids movie, so you think, oh, okay, that's great. I'm sure when Spielberg directed this movie, it's like, yeah, I want something that's gonna be relatable.
Yeah.
I don't want this alien to be mean or probing anybody.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I always that's what I thought. Like the aliens will come and try to be friends with us and eat Reese's Pieces.
Yeah. For me, I'm always a pessimist. I'm always like, oh, the aliens gonna come, they're gonna torture us and do all kinds of stuff to us.
And you know what? Another movie that I watched when I was a kid that also has to do with aliens was, I don't know if you ever watched this, and if you haven't watched it, I actually own a copy of the movie if you want to borrow it. It was called The Explorers. Remember that?
Oh, I've seen that one.
Where the kids build a spaceship out of a trash can and all this stuff. Yeah. And then the aliens like beam them up to their ship, and they find out that the aliens like are all childish and like they're just playing jokes on each other.
Oh yeah, those are the kids of the actual alien.
Yeah, and that's spoilers if you haven't watched that movie. At the end, they find out that these aliens that help them get up there are the children of the adult aliens, right?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite parts of the kid aliens is that I believe it's the boy that he learns to speak English, but he learns how to speak it only through TV commercials and broadcasts. So when he says something, it's like you're listening to a clip of a show or a clip of a commercial.
That's right.
That's right. I like that when I was a kid.
That's right. I remember when they barely got to the ship, and they're trying to talk to the aliens, and the alien like all of a sudden pops out of a corner. He's like, "What's up, Doc?" Right?
That's right. I love that part. That part was great.
Yeah, great movie, The Explorers. If you haven't watched it, check it out.
Yes, The Explorers.
And you know what? Hopefully, we could put like a picture right here. It's The Explorers.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you the picture of the DVD case and stuff.
I can just get online.
Oh yeah, that's right. Duh. Yeah, dude. But you know what? Growing up, there was a lot of really good, kid alien movies. There was. One of my favorites that people actually talk really bad about is Mac and Me. Remember that? Remember that?
Oh my god!
Remember this?
Horrible.
Remember this?
That was horrible. And didn't they have straws, and in the planet they would poke the Earth?
Yeah. Well, in the planet they would get like bamboo sticks or something and stick them in the Earth to drink water. But once they come to Earth, they find out about Coca-Cola and stuff.
and Mac gets addicted to Coca-Cola, and it's a big wild goose chase.
Did you know?
Like a complete low-budget ET ripoff.
Yeah. Did you know that movie was actually the budget was from McDonald's?
McDonald's and I believe Coke.
Yeah.
That was a complete product placement movie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you watch the game, you're like, oh my god, I'm so sick of this.
Well, that's why it's called Mac and Me. Like a Big Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I liked it when I was a kid. I tried watching it as an adult, and it wasn't that good anymore.
Of course.
But But yeah, you know what? Getting back to like the more serious alien movies.
Yeah.
I think the one of the first movies that I watched that actually made me think, like, you know, what if, you know, if aliens do come, you know, what if it's for with bad intentions, was They Live.
Oh, that's what I wanted to get to also.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first one that I watched, and I was like, oh crap, you know, these guys might actually be here to try to take over Earth. No.
What's great about this movie, it's kind of like the invasion of the body snatchers, where that ends. This is the continuation, where the aliens are already integrated into society and they have jobs, and you can't tell they're aliens until, I guess, a small rebellion group comes up and they have these special glasses that you put on, and you can see with these glasses you can see and distinguish between the humans and the aliens, and you can also look at magazines and billboards and you can see the aliens propaganda.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They were putting like secret messages and stuff.
Right, exactly. And of course, good old Roddy Piper, Hot Rod, puts on these glasses, and with him and his buddy, they go out and they start attacking these guys. They're trying to see what's going on. They're trying to get rid of the aliens, and these aliens are pretty crazy because they have these special watches. And when Roddy Piper goes around and starts killing them, they know that these aliens are going to get hit next. The alien just does some sort of like weird little watch thing, and next thing you know, he teleports and he escapes to safety.
He pulls a Star Trek.
Yeah, right, teleports. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That movie. I remember when I watched that movie, I started thinking, you know, what if people around us are aliens? So, you know, I would see like either like a homeless person in a corner, you know, someone that you see doing just weird stuff all the time, and I'm like, man, what if that's one of those They Live aliens?
And then you're holding your mom's hand and you start looking at that and like, okay.
Yeah. And you know what? Isn't that that other movie? It's a movie and a TV show. I think it was a TV show first. It was called V. Do you remember that?
Yes, V.
Wasn't that similar to the They Live?
This was back in the 80s. It was a mini series, and these aliens came from other planets, and it was very political in the beginning. We're like, oh, we're here for the good of man, and we're going to help you out. And they had, of course, human features, skin, and everything else. And they, I guess, some of those people, they fell in love with humans, so it was alien and human relationships in that show or movie, whatever you want to call it. And they finally came out to be lizard people.
Yeah, like reptilians, right?
I think in one of the episodes. Yeah, reptilians. Yeah, and in one of the episodes, the lady that was involved in a relationship was pregnant by one of these guys, and next thing you know, she's having a kid. And I guess I don't remember, but maybe did it come out as a reptilian, or was it like an alien with a crazy tongue that came out? I think that kind of I vaguely remember that.
I don't remember. But you know what?
They have all kinds of merchandise and toys.
You know what? They actually rebooted that series like a few years ago. I don't know if you saw the new one, the renewed one, and I think it got canceled, but it was actually pretty good. I actually enjoyed it.
Really? Okay.
It was pretty good
because I kind of dismissed it.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. But you know what? There's actually a lot of people that actually believe in the whole reptilian thing, that's the aliens, and that they're already here. If you go on YouTube, you could actually see videos of supposedly that where they capture either news people or people that are in politics, and when they're on TV, they'll pause certain points where you could see their eyes kind of like turn into like reptilian eyes, kind of like a reptile. What do you think about that? You think that's real?
I don't want to get into that.
I mean, hey, you never know. They might be reptilians.
Well, a good question would be like, how can you tell if they're reptilians? What would give them away? Would you have to look behind them and see if they have a big bulge in their back? Would they hide their tail? Or are they on an insect diet or something?
All of a sudden you see them eating flies and stuff. Yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, I guess it's possible.
Ooh. Well, I guess
Hey, maybe beer is one of the things they use to like control us, dude.
No, don't say that, because if that's the case, I'm all up for that. I'm all in it. I volunteer.
Yeah, I accept aliens. But you know what?
That's another good study, though, that these people that claim about these reptilians, it's another thing that we're talking about, how they've already been integrated into society. So it's kind of looking at it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's real, but I'm just saying that according to our subject matter today, is another thing that it's they're already embedded into the system.
So Carlitos approves of that belief.
Oh
yeah.
Man.
But you know what? A movie that I watched recently, a newer movie, was that actually got me thinking about all this whole alien thing again.
Mm-hmm.
Was Prometheus.
Oh, such a good one.
Yeah, where they come and they leave DNA to, that's how life starts on Earth. And a lot that's another thing that people actually believe too, that there's not really a God, but the aliens are the ones that that started this whole thing on Earth. The human race.
So many different ways.
Human race.
I did appreciate that beginning of Prometheus, how it has the tall engineer, and he has the black goo that I guess breaks down DNA and rebuilds it. So he takes it, he swallows it, and it breaks down his body composition down to the carbon fibers of itself, and it goes into a river. And that, of course, going through, I forget, it's from middle school, what is it called, anaphase, metaphase, whatever. All the cells start splitting and molecules start going all over the place and splitting new life.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly these engineers are the ones that created life on Earth.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have this theory, right, that we're here that we were created by beings from another planet.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you know what?
Uh-huh.
In the Bible, there was a lot of times when prophets would talk to who they believe are angels, right, and God, and they would see these big ships or these beings would be made out of light, or just things like that. And it's like, it makes me think, or like even with the Virgin Mary, how she got it impregnated and stuff. So it kind of makes you think, like, what if they are just aliens,
Right, there's a couple of I don't know. I'm just gonna go off and just talk about it a little bit because I don't know too much about the details. But this is coming from years ago that I've seen a few shows where, in certain stories, the Egyptians and in the Bible, of course, they've seen this sphere just appear out of nowhere, and there would be a person in there, and it'd be like kind of like almost like a machine, like a time machine, and then it will just disappear and go somewhere else. I vaguely remember something like that from the past. But that's another great idea.
That's the beard talking. Yeah, but you know what? We're not here to offend anybody. If you're into religion and stuff, these are just our thoughts. But yeah, you know what? When Prometheus came out, that made me think a lot about all that stuff. I was like, you know what? The Bible talking about these the light beings, and then like you said, these machines that are like ships. That I remember there was one of the prophets. When he had when he saw one of the angels and stuff, or God, I think, there was this big machine that had these giant almost like I want to say like orbs, not orbs, but these circular machines, and on each end, and they were like just hovering, and each end had like these beings standing on each end, and I think in the Bible it talks about how angels, there's different kinds of angels, right? Levels. There's like the regular angels and like the angels that like tell those angels what to do, and then there's like a mega angel that has like animal parts and human parts or something like that. Mm-hmm. But who knows? Maybe. But anyway, let's get back to some of the films. Another great movie. I think there's no spoilers on this because I'm pretty sure everybody's watched this. Independence Day. Welcome to Earth.
Calm down, Will Smith.
Oh, dude, that movie. I remember when that movie came out in theaters. I actually went to watch that movie 4 times.
Yeah.
I went with my friend George. I went after that. I ended up going with I forgot who else. A couple other friends. I even took my family, my parents, and my brothers and sisters, and I paid for everybody. I'm like, you guys have to watch this movie. But I think that movie is like that's the big alien movie of our generation.
Right. You could be a Will Smith fan, or you can be a Jeff Goldblum fan in that movie, or I forget the president's name. Doesn't come to mind, but yeah, you have those different type of characters in that movie.
Or you could be the fan of the drunken pilot.
He finally has his revenge in the end because he was pearled, I guess, in the movie.
Yeah, I remember that. They did experiments on him. What a great movie! You know what? That movie has it all: action, drama, comedy, sci-fi, everything. Great movie. Good job, Will Smith.
What'd you think about the second one?
Bad job. Terrible. Jeff Goldblum, you screwed up. Hey, I understand that he needed the paycheck, but come on. That movie sucked.
Not to be Debbie Downer, but what do you think about the second one?
Yeah. But you know what? I think that is probably one of the... that's kind of like War of the Worlds, right? Where they come and just try to exterminate people.
Yeah. Yeah, the both of those War of the Worlds, the original one, and then with Tom Cruise. Independence Day does that also. There's a bunch of them too. One that I didn't even see. Did you ever see The Darkest Hour? Does that have a lot of aliens in there or no?
The Darkest Hour. Is that with Mila Jovovich or something?
I think so. The Blob. Oh, that's another movie, The Blob.
That was an alien too, right?
Yeah, The Blob was an alien.
That's right.
A big sea monster, yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
Isn't in The Blob that supposedly that was the whole thing with the dinosaurs, that one of these things landed back in the day and that's how the dinosaurs died, because of the blob?
Well, it did come down as a meteor, right? But it came down in an asteroid, and maybe the blob was in there.
Because I know the blob. There's the original, the black and white, and then there's the '80s one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the blob, the '80s one. Most of the movies that I've seen are the '80s, and then I go back and watch the old ones.
And I think in the '80s one they talked about that, how some of the scientists believe that this is what had happened back with the dinosaurs, that something had landed with something similar to that and killed all the dinosaurs. But hey, you know what? Talking about the blob, the '80s blob, remember that scene where the sink gets clogged and the guy has to stick his hand in the in the sink and it ends up sucking him in. Yeah. Another great movie, The Blob. I gotta watch that.
Another invasion movie would be Signs. Oh, man, that's the one with Mel Gibson.
That's right.
Mel Gibson, he has a son and a daughter. Their mom passes away, and she gives them a little bit of foreshadowing before she passes away. And
hey, don't forget Joaquin Phoenix, dude. Come on.
Yeah, he's the son, right?
Yeah, he's the son. Yeah,
he's the son. Yeah, he's the future Joker.
And I think also Macaulay Culkin's brother. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, the little boy is Macaulay Culkin's brother. That's why it looks like the Home Alone kid. You know. Speaking about Signs,
okay.
the movie Signs. There's people that actually believe that that's another movie where they kind of mix the whole thing of aliens being like gods or angels or demons, because there's a lot of what do they call that when it something's like has a double meaning. Remember the guy used to be a priest. Mel Gibson used to be a priest, and then he stopped believing in God, and then he starts having visions, and then the alien gets killed by water. And remember, he's a priest. He could make holy water, and the alien's like like a motorcycle passing by the house. But yeah, so that movie has a lot of double, like a religious. Because he could only kill the aliens once he gets his faith back or something. So there's a lot of double meanings in that movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And just like in religion, you have a lot of symbols. In religion, you have like the cross, and
that's right.
The different types of images. And in Signs, there's the doorway, the door, I should say, had all those images on there too. And I thought that was pretty neat.
And not only that, but the signs they leave on the crop circles.
Yeah.
The crop circles. I think they mentioned that on a thing on YouTube, on a YouTube video where these crop circles had like the crosses on them and everything. So
that's right.
Yeah.
I know one thing for sure, that the aliens weren't taking the resource, which is water. That's for sure, because
they weren't here for the water. Yeah.
That's one thing that defeated. And that's like another thing I want to talk about. Okay, so if these things, whatever shape or form they come in, it's like, what are we going to do to defeat them? How are we going to, eradicate them from Earth? How are we going to fight back? And that's the thing you start thinking as well.
We have to call Will Smith.
The Red Cross.
Yeah. Will Smith, Bill Pullman, and Jeff Goldblum.
Bill Pullman, that's his name.
Bill Pullman. Hey, just don't call what's his name, Harry Connick Jr. because he dies all the time.
He's a comic relief.
Yeah, the comic relief for the film. Yeah, but you know what? I mean, I think if it were to happen almost like Independence Day, it would be more like, I think, War of the Worlds. Where they would come and actually, I don't know if you remember this on War of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise one. They would get the humans, and they didn't want to waste, because they're really smart. So they would get the humans and use them as manure. Remember that?
Yeah, that was crazy. You just see these humans in the back of these alien-like AT-TA Star Wars walker things, kind of like a little prison, and they would grind them up back there, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was crazy.
Yeah. But who knows? I mean, who knows, Carlitos? I mean, I still stick to the whole thing that they're just gonna watch us, watch us for a while. And maybe it is true. Some people believe that they'll watch to the point where if they see us like start getting too crazy, where we're gonna completely destroy the planet, then that's where they'll probably intervene and be like, you know what, chill, guys, chill.
Or maybe they're squatters. They're waiting for us to just go away, and they'll just come in and take over.
Yeah. Or you know what? Maybe they were here when the dinosaurs were here, and they saw the dinosaurs go away, and now they're here to see us, and eventually we'll go away, and in the future there'll be a different species here on Earth.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Who knows? Wow.
Yeah, they probably would have, with the technology they have and the science. Maybe they have longer lives too. Maybe they're able to extend their lives instead of decades and decades, and so for centuries they can go into like maybe eons.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. Maybe just they've gotten so smart that they only need a few that are really, really smart, but only that will last a long time.
Yeah.
And they'll be the commanding aliens. Yeah, that's pretty.
I mean,
pretty
it could be that it happens like in Futurama. Where they end up taking like your brain or your spiritual your soul and putting it in the machine, and that's how you continue to.
Yeah.
It could be they got to that point.
Yeah, kind of like how you get an analog tape and you convert it over into digital.
Yeah.
From magnetic over to ones and zeros.
Yeah.
That'll be the next thing, kind of like you're jacking yourself into the matrix.
Yeah. I mean, it could be that they're already at that point where they've gone so far that they know how to do that. And it'd be cool if they could come to Earth and teach us how to do it.
I don't think we have the brain capacity.
Yeah, no, not yet. We're not ready.
And maybe that's another thing too. You know how there's they talk about different planes of existence with string theory and X theory. How there's the first dimension, second dimension, third dimension, fourth and fifth. Right now we see in two dimensions, right?
Yeah.
We live in a three-dimensional area.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the next beings or whatever it is that live in other places, they can see in three dimensions, means that they can actually see like around a wall, or they can see behind certain things. And maybe that's like the next level of the evolution, where you're becoming more and more godlike. And then after that, you'll be able to control time. You'll be able to move back and forward, and maybe that's how they get around.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
String theory is pretty.
The Mandela effect. Hey, speaking about that, what do you think about the Mandela effect, dude? Real? Or just baloney? or dude, or like that guy that, remember the guy that went to go see the Annabelle doll?
Yeah.
Come on, do something. Do something. This is all baloney.
Oh, those were his words exactly. Yeah, right. Mandela effect. I guess a lot of people were. Some of the examples of Mandela effect are the Berenstain Bears. Some people saw it spelled a certain way. Others remember it spelled another way. I guess one of the songs from Queen, "We Are the Champions." At the end, "We are the champions. We are the champions," and then it just ends. But some people think. Sorry, that's my beautiful singing voice there. But some people would add "of the world" at the end, but he never says "of the world," and people thought, or people think now that was added before, and with the Mandela effect, it was removed.
And you know what? The reason I bring up the Mandela effect was because we were talking about how, there's people that believe there's multiple dimensions, and that eventually we're going to be able to go between dimensions, and supposedly. That's one of the reasons that there is the Mandela effect, because I guess we've figured out how to travel through dimensions. Well, not everybody, just certain people. And right now that they're testing this, going through dimensions, it's throwing everything off. So we're kind of it's kind of switching everything all around, and that's why it creates the Mandela effect.
Right.
Either that or I'm just drunk already. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
That could be true, but another example could be Curious George. And I want to ask you right now, Curious George. You don't have him in front of you, so let me ask you: did he have or did he not have a tail?
You know what? I saw that on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing is, I don't know because I never watched Curious George.
Oh, okay.
But you know which one did get me? It was the Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops? Toucan Sam?
Fruit Loops, because I always thought it was spelled Fruit Loops, not fruit like FROOT, but it was more like fruit. Mm-hmm. And also the which one was it? The Life is like a box of chocolates.
Oh yeah.
What's the real saying in it? It's life was like a box of chocolates, right? Because everybody thinks it says life is like a box of chocolates, but it says life was like a box of chocolates. Yeah, and you know what? That doesn't even make sense. Tom Hanks, right? Why would you say life was like a box of chocolates?
Okay, maybe because she passed. That's why. He's doing it to a reference to a quote.
And that's why Carlos is the technician. The technician. You're the smart one, dude. I don't even think about stuff like that.
Because she's no longer with us.
Yeah,
so Curious George, I believe, did not have a tail, and the people think he does.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember they talked about that on YouTube, the Mandela effect. But you know what? That actually has made me think of certain things, because sometimes I'll be watching a certain movie that I've watched multiple times, and then it's just like there's certain things that just at least I think they've changed, but maybe they haven't. It just always was like that. But it makes me think oh crap, is the Mandela effect real? But
maybe because you weren't paying attention, maybe your mind was trying to fill in the blanks when you weren't paying attention, and it put in false memories in them.
Yeah, it's almost like those I don't know if you've seen on Facebook where they post these pictures where it's missing certain words, but your brain just automatically puts the missing words in there.
Yeah, and I think that's what's happening. It's like a false memory. Your brain is very intelligent. It tries to fill in those voids to complete a sentence or a line, but sometimes it can kind of it can run away from us.
Yeah. So I mean, that could be the reason why there's the whole Fruit Loops, because your brain would think, well, fruit is spelled fruit, not FROOT. So I think your brain try to autocorrects things, at least in your mind. And
right, and you're an adult, and you're saying, well, that would be the most logical thing to do, to put it that way, and then you keep doing that for days, weeks, months, and then years and years and years, and that's what you grow accustomed to.
Debunked. We just debunked the Mandela effect. Yeah.
False memories.
Yeah. But anyways, getting back to aliens.
Yeah.
So
I went on that tangent with the different what do you call it? Parallel universes, right? Dimensions.
Mm-hmm. The thing is with aliens, man, there's so many people that have actually seen, seen spaceships and other people that supposedly have been abducted and you know what, before I was really a big skeptic about stuff like that, because I was like, I don't know anybody that's seen a spaceship, or anybody credible at least, that, oh, it's a family member or a friend that saw a spaceship. But now I've actually spoken to a few people that I actually believe that have told me that they've seen UFOs, whatever. But our your cousin, what's his name, Adam, sorry Adam. He said he saw one when he used to live here in San Pedro on, I think it was on 14th Street, and he actually saw one come in the backyard, and he said it came down in the backyard and it was just like covering in the backyard, and I believe him. I think it's true. I don't think why would he be lying about something like that? And I had other people. There's a guy in the school I go to that he said the same thing. He was doing putting some Christmas lights up. I don't know if I mentioned this on the alien episode, but he was putting some Christmas lights up around his house, and it was it got dark, and he was finishing up the putting the little clips, and then all of a sudden he said that there was moonlight, and all of a sudden it got like real dark, and he looked up and he just saw the bottom of the ship, like he said it just looked like a machine, like a giant machine, and it was just just floating on top. And he just kind of got like mesmerized by it, and then all of a sudden it just like shot up and it was gone with no noise, and kind of the same thing that Adam said, with that it was just there and then it just took off with without it making any noise. So
that is interesting. It's like what was it doing though? You would think like why me? Why is it here? What is it trying to observe?
Yeah. And you would think because there's other cases. I mean, old cases where people would see these things like ships, and all of a sudden they see them and the ship takes off, but then when they look at their clock or their watch, they would see that there's like 20-30 minutes missing.
Right.
So who knows, maybe these people, the same thing happened. They they just didn't pay attention to the time, and they lost like 20-30 minutes of time.
Which takes me to another film with Fire in the Sky.
I knew you were gonna say that. I love that movie. I love that movie. And you know what? I actually got to meet the guy from Fire in the Sky, Travis Walton.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's great.
I met him at when I used to go to when I went to Angels Gate, and I was taking some typing classes there back in the day when they used to do typing. But he actually went. They did like a tour, like a machine. Yeah, they did like a tour, and they stopped at the school to talk about the the whole alien thing. But anyways, when I spoke to when we spoke to, well, not just me but the whole class was talking to Travis. I actually asked him, what happened in the movie, because I've always been a big movie buff, and Fire in the Sky is one of my top 10 best alien films. But I asked him what happened, like how did you get off the ship, because in the movie they never show this. I don't know if you remember this. In the film, all of a sudden he's just on Earth, and he's on on a payphone, right, calling his brother like, oh, come pick me up, or calling his best friend, like, or his wife. He's like, come pick me up, I'm over here. And they never explain what happened. How did he get off the ship? In the movie they just show him getting experimented, and that's it. Then he's on Earth. But anyways, Travis, the actual person, told me that there was other aliens. There's good aliens and bad aliens, like humans, and that another ship of aliens came, and they knew that these aliens were carrying humans that they had taken from Earth, and they came on the ship, and they were like, you gotta take them back. You're not supposed to keep them here. And so that they released him to those aliens that look more like people, and those are the ones that brought him back to Earth. I know it's kind of unbelievable, but
it is unbelievable, but it is nice to talk to somebody like that.
And you know what? The thing is, I asked him. I was like, so why didn't they show this in the movie? That would have been awesome. I think that would have been pretty cool to have aliens come and take the humans and bring them back to Earth. And you know what? You know what he said? He said that it was because the movie company, I forgot who made them. Was it Miramax or something? They didn't want to put that because then it would make the movie not as believable, because people are gonna be like, oh yeah, right, aliens that look like humans came, and it would kind of throw everything off. So they wanted to keep it more just like the aliens look like these weird monsters and stuff. So
yeah, they didn't fit with the format and the design they were going with.
Yeah, so they didn't put that.
I went online and I went to the year that you actually took those classes, and I found part of your yearbook there. So here it is, right here. We can see. There's a picture of you in the packing class.
I know. It seems like it was just yesterday when I shaved my head. Go on, Carlitos. Go on. Yeah, dude. So it's crazy that that he said this of these other aliens coming, and I mean, who knows? Who knows, right? Who knows? But so anything else, Carlitos? Any other movies you watch, or any other movies you remember from our childhood?
Yeah, the silly ones. I'm just gonna run through some of these silly ones. You shouldn't really watch these, but I just remember these because of the subject. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, so Killer Clowns is about aliens?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Hey, you like that movie? I love it. I like it. It's cool.
No, I'm saying I never saw it. I didn't know there were aliens.
Oh, it has a really good soundtrack. That's about it. I mean, it's a stupid fun movie. Just check it out one day. But the heavy metal music in it is pretty good.
So in that movie, why are the aliens clowns?
Well, that's just the way they were. They were.
They were portrayed.
Evolved into, right? And it's funny because their spaceship is like a giant circus. And it becomes a big giant circus tent. And these aliens, which are clowns, they go out and they abduct people. And what they do is they hang them upside down in their little carnival, but they're covered in cotton candy. And the way these alien clowns survive is that they get this big old giant straw and they put it into the cotton candy and they just suck the life out of you. I guess they just suck your blood.
So it's kind of like the movie It.
Yeah, but it's just like done in space, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Crazy. You know what? Talking about Clowns from Outer Space, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, was there's another movie that has a similar title. Is this about aliens too? The Killer Tomatoes? Were those aliens too? Attack of the Killer Tomatoes?
Oh, wow, you just went back in my mind on that. Was that a John Belushi film, right? And I don't know, dude.
I just wanted it. Just seemed very similar titles.
Let's watch it one day. Let's see what's up.
Yeah, we'll rate. We'll do a review.
Critters. Haven't seen this one, but I was talking to this with my brother Victor, and he says, "Yeah, Critters were an alien, I guess, animal or something that was trapped in space, and for some reason it was let go or into Earth, and that's when he caused all kinds of havoc. So Critters is another one out there. These are all bad, by the way. I gotta keep mentioning that.
You know what? I remember Critters actually being pretty good. Just more for like entertainment. But you know what? Talking about critters of like what you said, where they're like released to Earth and stuff. That reminds me of another great alien movie that they're not really aliens. They're more like little like worms or something. Night of the Creeps.
I haven't seen that one. I don't know
my God,
that
what
is.
a great movie! Excellent movie. If you haven't seen that, Night of the Creeps. That's the one where there's some aliens are in a ship and they're having a war, and I guess they have these little like they look like worms, like little slugs, right? And they're using it like as a weapon. So then something happens where I guess some aliens are trying to get their hands on this weapon. So the aliens that are trying to protect it, they shoot it off their ship and it lands on Earth, and this thing lands like in a cemetery. And these little worms start going into the dead bodies, and they bring them back to life like zombies.
Oh wow!
Oh man! And then not only that, not only do they go on the dead people, they go into the people that are alive too. Like if it goes into a person, that person will go to another person and spit one of the worms into their mouth, and then they become like a zombie. I guess the aliens are in these little worms, and they live inside your body and control your body.
So these worms you spit out, and they can go into somebody else and infect them.
They look like slugs.
So it's a good thing we're wearing masks right now. It's outside.
they would be a total fail right now for them. But watch it, Night of the Creeps. Great movie. 80s movie. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What other movie do you have there, Carlitos, on your list?
Let's see, what do we have here? We talked about Signs, Mars Attack. Oh my God, Earth Girls Are Easy. Another movie with Jeff Goldblum. 1980s Earth Girls Are Easy. Jeff Goldblum, the what's his name again? Jim Carrey, and one of the brothers. What's his name? There's a family of actors, of comedians. The guys from In Living Color. I forget the brother's name.
The Wayans brothers.
Yes, one of the older ones. I forget what his name is. So, anyways, these aliens they crash land into the back of this young woman. I guess her name was Valerie back in the day. So they crash into her pool, and they need to fix it or whatever it is. But while they're on Earth, you know, there are different colors that come out of the ship. Right, while they're on Earth, they have to pretty much fit in. So they're different colors. One's blue, one's yellow, and then one's red. And they shave them off, and they look human. And they're all going out to parties like clubs and so forth. They're all having a good time. And Valerie, who was the main actor, is what's her name again? Gina, right? Gina. I forgot her name from the 80s. But anyway, she falls in love with Jeff Goldblum's character.
I never watched it. And you know what? It sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I have to push it because you made me watch a bad movie called Invaders from Mars.
Hey, that was actually pretty good. You know what?
Except for the child actor, everything else was good.
The one movie we're forgetting, which is I believe one of the best. It's on my top. I think it's my top 3 best alien movies ever. And if any viewers out there haven't seen this movie, go watch it like right now. The Thing.
Oh,
The Thing, the best movie.
The Thing. The original one, and even the
reboot. You know what? It wasn't even a reboot. It was a prequel, right? The prequel.
It was a prequel with the same name, and that was good too.
Great, yeah. Both of them are great.
Oh man, I was like, wow, this is actually. I love these movies, and for the practical effects for 78 or 70, late 70s, it was actually pretty amazing. Good. It was actually pretty good work.
Was it Kurt Russell? Kurt Russell, right?
Yeah, Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
I believe it was Kurt Russell.
Man, great movie. Classic right there. You know what? If aliens did come in with bad intentions, I think that's the way it would be. Just almost like a virus, right? In the blood, and just take over and turn everybody into monsters.
And that's one thing of us being human is one of our biggest fear is something so evil and corrupt that it looks just like us, and that's what the Thing is.
Yeah.
This is a thing.
You know what? Talking about that, I'm gonna go watch The Thing tonight. I gotta watch that again. It's been a while.
So are you gonna watch both of them, or are you just gonna watch the?
No, I'm gonna watch both of them, but I'm gonna start with the new one. You know, the prequel. Because I love the way, I don't know if you remember this. There's scenes in the prequel where they'll leave certain objects, and then they're in when Kurt Russell they go to investigate. They find these, like when they find like an axe on the door, and you're like, oh, that's right. Yeah. So I'm gonna watch them tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Even the ending of the prequel. And the beginning of the original, the scenes are played out so that it fits and goes right into from one movie to the next.
Yeah.
And it's just
you know what, the original when it came out, I think it was 1982.
Early 80s. Okay.
76. Yeah, I think it was 1982 because I actually went to see it in theaters with my parents when it came out.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I remember when I went to watch it, I was like 6, 7 years old. And man, that movie freaked me out. I didn't sleep for weeks. But yeah, great movie, The Thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, getting back
I guess you
to
definitely
getting back to
got
the
one.
bad getting back to the bad alien movies, Carlitos. What else is there?
Let's see. We already talked about They Live. Let's see.
Oh, They Live was good though.
What else is it? Yeah. Another Tom Cruise movie, Oblivion. I kind of like that one. That one was kind of neat.
The Oblivion was kind of almost like the multi-dimension, right? But not multi-dimension. It's where they have different versions of yourself in different parts of the planet, right? Or something like that.
Right. I guess before the current time in the movie, this is a shot of them in the past where they go into space, and it was a team of two astronauts or pilots in space. They go out there and they encounter some sort of intelligent life, and this intelligent life takes them and I guess clones them and uses them as these people as protectors of the earth that are I guess they're led to believe that they're playing these important roles.
Yeah.
But all they're doing is just telling the alien race where to go hunt humans, which they don't really know about. They think that they can't really go into these areas. Tom Cruise and the other character are like, well, we can't go there. It's full of radiation, which it's all fake. Just after people that are human. And I thought that was nice.
You know what, that was a decent movie. It was not that bad.
It was decent. Yeah.
You know what? Another movie that is so bad it's good was you got to remember this one, right? The Starship Troopers.
Oh my god.
Starship Troopers, great movie. I love that movie. It's the acting is horrible, but the movie is actually pretty good. The whole thing of having to go and kill those insects or whatever, giant grasshoppers.
Yeah. it's like Rambo meets some sort of like I don't know, super soldier in space.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun at the time. It was a lot of action, but now that I watch, I'm like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. And you know what? That's when what's the actress that's in that movie? The pretty one. Well, she used to be really hot back in the day. You know what I'm talking about, huh? Anyways, the one of the girls. But anyways, yeah. Starship Troopers. It was pretty good movie.
So going to that, because I think they were Space Marines, which takes me to another movie that I really love. There's two in this series that I like. One I love more than the other one, and a lot of people love Aliens.
Oh my god!
And that's not really an invasion movie.
Yeah.
So a lot of people love Aliens because they're your face action Space Marines, you're shooting them, and you have all this cool tech. But to me, my favorite one is the original one.
Alien.
It's a slower pace. You don't see the monster, the villain, kind of like Jaws. You don't see it for until about 30 or 40 minutes into the movie. And to me, that's like an original space sci-fi horror movie, and that's one of the reasons why it's up there.
Yeah.
And I love it so much that I actually got a little shirt right here, a little alien shirt.
An X-ray. Isn't that from Aliens Part 4 or 5?
Yeah, this is Xenomorph, but it's this is the big alien though, the extra large.
And you know what? I actually agree with you with the whole thing of Alien, the first film being better than the second one, but the second one was a great continuation to the first Alien. You know, because you always watch the first movie and it has to be great, set up the story, but the second one always has to come with all the action, kind of like Back to the Future.
Yeah, it had to be done that way because we would have just done the same thing. That would have been boring.
Yeah.
So you have a great point.
Yeah, both great movies, but Alien, the first one is better, I believe, than the second one. If you had to pick one to watch the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
I actually saw that in the theater again. It was about I think 2 years now from the date, or maybe a year and a half. And I went over to LA and they were playing it in a small time theater over there, and it was just amazing, just sitting down there, just eating popcorn and watching the Alien on the big screen.
Yeah, that's one of those films you have to watch. It's better to watch it on the big screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, Carlitos, I think we're done for today. Is there anything else you want to say about Aliens before we? Or did you have more? Did you have more information?
Yeah, I do actually. you guys are looking for help in any kind of office, there's an alien here that types 70 words per minute.
Oh man!
If you need Excel or Access, I can help you. But
and you can pay him with Guinness beer. Oh man! Yeah, guys. But I think that's gonna do it for today. But
it's just a good episode. Just talking about aliens and
yeah,
just good fun.
Yeah, and you know what? We're trying to just have fun with these next few episodes, because since we can't do any investigations or any of that, I think this is cool. I have fun making these videos, and you know what? I was even thinking that we should start a second YouTube channel where we just have fun, dude. We'll have the paranormal and have a fun a fun channel, but that's a future thing.
I was thinking along those lines too, but I was thinking, why don't we put one of these episodes like in the middle of the week, and then we can put the investigations and the deep interviews in the end of the week, Friday, Saturday.
That's right. Hey, but you gotta remember is that once everything goes back to normal, that means we have to work and stuff. So who knows what that's gonna happen with our time.
We go back to working like a job and waking up early and making and driving to work.
Yeah. But anyways, is there anything you wanna plug or any shout outs or any shout out to your beer companies?
I have a cat. How'd you know? I'm sure you're one of those people that know about the different dimensions.
I'm a reptilian.
With mad typing skills. Three Weavers. This is a good one.
It says even sassier. Oh, okay.
Yeah, nice. Even sassier. Indian Pale.
Does that say 7.2% alcohol?
That's a little bit. Three Weavers though.
Yeah.
They're in Inglewood.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's bottled there. It's good.
Hey, if there's any companies out there, any beer companies that want to sponsor us, we're game. But anyways, all right, guys. Well, you know what? Thanks for watching episode 18, and we hope you guys enjoyed it, as much as we did filming it. And we will see you next week for episode 19. I don't know what we're gonna do for next week. We'll just wing it. We'll just roll the dice and see what comes up.
We'll just look up to the skies and hopefully something will happen.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you so much.